It it almost feels surreal that I am telling you this today, because I think many of us at least would like to believe that this is not the type of thing that would be possible in the United States. But it is possible. We would be naive to think it's not possible. And that's why the FBI has started vetting the National Guard troops who are in Washington, D.C. to protect the city, to protect the Capitol, to protect the White House in advance of and during Joe Biden's inauguration. And the reason the FBI is vetting National Guard troops is that there are fear of insider Trump loyalists who may even assist in or participate in an attack tomorrow, Inauguration Day. I'm almost at a loss for words, but this should not come as a total surprise, because 2 weeks ago I told you that Joe Biden's entire Secret Service team is being replaced, rather than the typical some Trump Secret Service people carry over and some people retire and then they bring in some new people, which would be the standard thing. Because of concerns about Trump loyalists in Secret Service, Joe Biden is getting an all new team, including some agents from the Obama era that worked with Biden in his capacity as vice president, as well as new agents not believed to be Trump loyalists. So we knew that a couple of weeks ago. And now, as you know, because of the Trump riots on January 6th, National Guard troops have been called to Washington, D.C., and they've been patrolling the streets and street corners of Washington, D.C. for a week now. If you look at images of it, it looks dystopian. It looks like things we would imagine only happen in other countries, but they're happening right here in the United States. But it is not quite so simple. Defense officials and the FBI are worried about an insider attack or threat from these very service members involved in securing Joe Biden's inauguration. And this has led the FBI to start vetting all 25,000 National Guard troops coming to Washington, D.C. or already in Washington, D.C. for this event. Now, imagine what it takes to vet 25,000 troops to figure out, might this be a Trump loyalist? Has this person been visiting certain websites on the internet, coordinating with certain people on the internet? And unfortunately, that degree of vetting is not going to be possible. What it is going to include is some more automated processes for looking through folks, maybe more detailed looks at people from certain areas or people with certain characteristics. I don't even know how you'd vet 25,000 people, and they're expected to be doing the vetting all the way up to tomorrow's inauguration. And this is a situation where, I mean, listen, the FBI will run everybody's names through databases. They'll see if any of the names appear on watch lists already maintained to see if there's something alarming that comes up. If there have been names of the troops that have been associated with prior investigations or terrorism related concerns. But the deep vetting that would be done, like, for example, for people who will be close to Joe Biden in a Secret Service capacity, you just can't do that with 25,000 National Guard troops coming to Washington, D.C. on relatively short notice. But the fact that this is even being done is, of course, horrifying and very, very scary. And I hate to say this. I don't want to make this all negative, because we are removing Trump. That's a good thing. And hopefully getting a fresh start on a lot of these issues that we failed on as a country over the last 4 years. But this is an issue, radicalization of law enforcement and military, that's been studied for a long time. The Brennan Center for Justice has a report called Hidden in Plain Sight: Racism, White Supremacy, and far-right militancy in law enforcement. Now, we've known for a long time that law enforcement tends to be more conservative than the population at large. Law enforcement tends to vote quite a bit more for Republicans rather than Democrats. The military is not historically made up of, at the sort of lower levels, particularly progressive individuals, although in 2020, Joe Biden did see more support from within the military than Democratic presidents have seen for a long time. But this issue of militancy and white supremacy and racism within law enforcement has been studied for a long time by the Brennan Center for Justice. And it is important to understand that it is a widely known issue, and that while, of course, I've said before, this is not an anti-cop show or an anti-military show in terms of the individuals. I continue to believe, and this is based on both everything I've read empirically and my personal experience, Most police officers become police officers for the right reasons. Most people who join the military not to go out and kill people in cold blood, or they do join for what they see as doing something good for their community or their country. The unfortunate reality is that law enforcement and the military also attract disproportionately culturally conservative people, disproportionately folks motivated more by fear and possibly anger, disproportionately more people to, and I hate to say it, be sympathetic to the ideas of far-right militancy. Now, that doesn't mean that it's the majority. It's not. But relative to the population, they are overrepresented. And so that's something that has to be dealt with. Law enforcement and the military have tried different ideas. And so far, it has not worked particularly well. And it remains a, quote, persistent threat, according to the FBI. So the point here is it shouldn't be a surprise that this is a concern, even including the National Guard troops that will be supposedly securing Washington, D.C. for the inauguration of Joe Biden. I'm hopeful but unsure if this late stage vetting that the FBI is doing will be enough. But my hope is that even if some individuals slip through who are sympathetic to some of the goals of the rioters and would-be rioters, that they will be so few and far between among the 25,000 National Guard troops that it will not really lead to an opportunity for anybody to do anything that even resembles what we saw on January 6th. That's my hope, and I hope it doesn't end up being a naive hope, but we will be watching it as we will be covering Joe Biden's inauguration tomorrow, and I hope you will join me. We will be live on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook starting at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, 8 a.m. Pacific Time. We will start an hour before. We will see the gathering in Washington, D.C., the swearing in of Joe Biden as president, the swearing in of Kamala Harris as vice president, and then we will have a changing of the guard. We will officially have it. Trump will be out, Biden will be in, and we will go right into demanding that Joe Biden do the things he promised to do on day one. I'll give him until day two. I'll be honest. I think literally day one is tough, but maybe the first full day. I expect executive orders from Joe Biden on Thursday, and we will be here with you for everything. So we'll see you for that tomorrow. We have a great show today. Let me know if you'll be watching. I'm on Twitter at @DPakman. If one of your goals for the new year is to cut back on carbs and sugar, check out one of our sponsors, Monk Pack. Monk Pack Keto Granola Bars fill you up and taste like your favorite sweet snacks, but they just have 1 gram of sugar, just 2 grams of net carbs at only 140 calories. They have a soft, chewy texture, and they come in delicious flavors like coconut cocoa chip, peanut butter, and maple pecan or pecan or pecan. It's all of the above, actually. They're perfect for a quick breakfast, a snack between Zoom calls, or a late night treat. Not only are they keto friendly, they're gluten-free, grain-free, plant-based, no soy, trans fats, or sugar alcohols, no artificial colors. And Monk Pack is so confident in their keto snacks that they back them with a 100% money-back guarantee. Try it for yourself, and you'll see how delicious these are. You'll get 20% off when you go to monkpack.com and use coupon code PAKMAN. The link is underneath this video.